Hi, it's Pastor Andy with our Tuesday discipleship video based upon our passage this week of Romans chapter 15, verses 22 through 29. In yesterday's video, I mentioned that I wanted to share a couple of other aspects about the sharing that Paul mentions in Romans 15, but I wanted to talk first about planning, and that made sense to me because obviously Paul is making plans in Romans chapter 15, and the plans that he's making is, in part, that Rome would share in his life and in his ministry at some point. Well, throughout many of Paul's letters, Paul made some statement about not only what he shared with the people of that particular city or a particular region, and what he would share would be the message in that regard, but he also talked about how he shared it. And I don't mean by talking or that kind of thing, but the fact that he spent life with them, that he spent a period of time with them. And Paul was purposeful in sharing his life with those cities, towns, and the churches that he would start in those various places. Well, that same idea is true in Romans, at least his expectation to share life with the people of Rome. But it was only an expectation because he had not been there yet. Now, Paul did not plan to stay long in Rome when he went, because both mentions of his going to Rome, in verse 24 and in verse 28 of Romans 15, talk about the fact that he wants to go to Spain. Spain is his primary objective here, but Rome is a stop on that path. Verse 24 saying that he will stop by Rome in passing, and verse 28 saying that he will leave for Spain by way of you. I'm going to Spain, but I'm going to stop in for a bit. So before he could travel to Rome, though, Paul had established that he wanted to spend time. I'm coming. I want to spend time with you when I get there. As Christians, we often talk about the idea of sharing fellowship together. And sharing fellowship is often considered, let's have a meal together or something like that. But it is much, much more than that. And in fact, in this passage here, verse 26, Paul said that the churches made a contribution. What's interesting is the word choice that he uses for contribution here is the word koinonia, and the word koinonia is the word for fellowship. Likewise, in verse 27, he says that the Gentiles have shared in spiritual blessings. Again, that word koinonia is the word for fellowship. So Paul is even saying by giving financial resources, it is really a sharing, it is a fellowship, an expression of fellowship with others that are either there, or in the case of this offering that was being collected, fellowship with others where that offering would be delivered. Again, Paul makes it quite clear in verse 24 and 28 that he does want to come and spend time with them. And Romans 1:12 indicates that he expects both he and the Romans to be encouraged by the time that they spend together. But even though Paul doesn't ask for Rome to participate in this collection, this monetary collection, he is establishing this idea that when he does come, that a key aspect of his relationship with them, once he does arrive, is for fellowship. Beyond just eating and drinking, but talking with one another and investing in their lives together. We see this even more fully in the next few verses where he appeals to them, and these will be part of this coming Sunday's message, but he appeals to them as brothers and sisters, which are endearing terms, and he asks for prayer. So as I mentioned in the Monday video this week, Paul is sharing his plans. He does intend to visit Rome on his way to Spain, but he must first travel back to Jerusalem to give the saints there this collection that has been taken up. But the word choices that Paul has used show that the message was not just what he planned to do while apart, but for them to prepare for something deeper, something more intimate once he arrived. As the people of Rome and the people of Paul, as the people of Rome and Paul shared their life together, a trust would form, an appreciation would form for each other, and that would lead to new opportunities to minister together. And that is the point of tomorrow's video.